Hey guys, today we are in for a bit of an interesting treat on our continued attempt to see whether or not I can pronounce this series properly. My 30-day world. So, what is the question for today? How prevalent is magic? Where does it come from? Magic is the unknown in Talon. Magic is the force that everybody worries about in their everyday life. To a certain degree, magic is treated the same way that people treated magic in the old, in medieval times of history in our world. That being, magic is just this kind of thing that we don't know how it really works, but it just does happen. Um, for instance, people used to think that like child production, reproduction, children, was a form of magic. You can see that in amongst present religions. Many religions have this idea of supernatural magic is what created the world, rather than a big bang or science or anything like that. There's And what I wanted to do when I was thinking of it was I wanted to return to that idea. As a result, magic is very, very kind of worrying. It's just like this thing that seems to have rules, but nobody's really sure what the rules are, and only a very select number of people can, so far as anyone can notice, see, understand it. These people are called magic users. I felt that the D&D system of there are hundreds and hundreds of names for different kinds of people and stuff like that. I thought that it was very annoying and it was a bit persnickety. I mean, like a sorcerer is different from a wizard, but to a layperson, to like a peasant, how would someone tell the difference between the two? They both throw fireballs. They both fly. As a result, magic user is just what they're called. Different societies have different names for them, and often they have multiple names for the same thing. So in my present game, there is a person who is called a weird, and weirds are literally like they have the same definitional name as magic user and wizard and witch and sorcerer and stuff like that. They're just called weirds. Um, the reason that I wanted to put that forward was because I really wanted the idea of magic and the place of magic to have a similar place in the world to the upper class. When you think of things in terms of like unknown, kind of secretive, or any kind of social group with a certain amount of opacity to their structuring or existence, there are two ways of language use. The first one is the external, the words that we use to describe the group as a whole from the external position. Um, as the case may be, the upper class in fantasy literature and in the olden days and blah, 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 is just noble. Noble, upper class. We don't have that many words that shows a lot of like gradation, a lot of ideas about them. In a similar way, I wanted magic users to just be from the outside seem impenetrable. They are magic users. That's all that they really are. That's all you need to know about them. They can use magic. Sometimes they don't even need to have magic in order to use it. And what I mean by that is just the idea that from the point of view of somebody whose education only is utilitarian, peasant folk, peons, these kind of things, those people would only be particularly interested in the utility of their abilities. And if their abilities are as unexplainable as a magic user's is, they wouldn't really have much of a way of distinguishing that. The idiom of Isaac Asimov is, yo, what was it? Technology given sufficient distance from our present level of understanding, is indistinguishable from magic. Buggered if I know that that's actually how you say it, but that's the basic paraphrase, I believe. If somebody has no understanding of medicine beyond leeches, being able to make a magic potion, being able to make like antibiotics or something like that, is magic. And that's actually what happened in my game. One of my characters actually decided that they wanted to play what is ostensibly a charlatan type character, where mechanically they are magical in nature. However, in the setting, in the way that they pull things off, their powers are entirely mundane based. And I'm very interested to see how they pull that off, how they make the different things come up. Because, like, at some point they're going to throw a fireball, and I want to find out what that does. Almost got to the end without having to do another take. Although I did have to take another take before now, and blah 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 blah. I will see you all tomorrow, when we shall be asking the grand question of